Welcome back to another episode of the She Got Lucky podcast. This is your podcast where we go beyond luck and we actually go into what it really takes to build a driving force of a business that people cannot switch off, that people cannot avoid. Your business is the one. Your business is the leader. And this is the podcast where we really break this down, where I bring on other leaders who have really defied luck, who have defied what the odds would say, and we go beyond what others see to be lucky and dive on into really what it takes. Today's episode, all right, let's dive on in. You're treating reels like an entree when they're the full freaking menu. Their entree, their starters, their mains, their dessert, their everything. But only when you actually start using them like they can do that. You've seen the trends, you've seen the hacks, the tips for views. So it's no wonder that you've got stuck in using reels for visibility. And that's it. No wonder your reels are one shot, quite short, B-roll, text heavy. You're really relying on people are going to watch this no matter what. You're relying on people are going to read through this. And you're relying on just the feature to get eyes. So until you start treating reels like they're the full freaking menu, which they are, you're not going to see the insane results. You're not going to see 20,000 in sales from one reel. You're not going to see your reels land a published book deal. You're not going to see your reels land you on one of the biggest TV shows in the country. You're not going to see your reels land your dream clients repeat after repeat. You're not going to be the leader if your reels do not actually lead. Right now, using reels just as that starter, just as that entree, just as that visibility piece, it's just a way to use the reels feature to take up space, to say, yeah, Alicia, I am showing up. I am doing the thing. I am posting reels. You might be posting reels, but you're not posting the full freaking menu video marketing reels. The reels that actually land results again and again. Reels that build that momentum. If you're treating it just like that entree, you're really just crossing your fingers each time and hoping maybe this will be the one. Maybe this will be the reel. And if you're doing that, you are not in the driver's seat. This approach isn't utilizing video marketing. In fact, you're approaching reels kind of like a watered down version of carousels. Putting the text on the screen. Really, the only thing different is that you don't swipe from, left to right. And the text is just on the screen with music, with maybe video in the background. Do you see perhaps where we need to change? Because the best part about this is it really isn't a major difference. It's like, okay, let's just swap out our menu. Right now, we're treating reels like the entree. We need a new freaking menu. That's not a massive change. That is something that we can easily do with refinements that are intentional, that actually support you sharing reels that make people feel, that make people move, that make people buy. So, because spoiler, reels are actually way more powerful than carousels, but only when you start using video marketing and going beyond the basic BS approach. So wherever you're listening right now, I want you to think to yourself, are you ready to go beyond the basic BS approach? I'm just going to be imagining you sitting there, maybe driving, and you're like, yes, freaking ready. Let's go. Okay. All right. Fine. Because you're ready, let's do it. So I'm going to break down a few different ways that we can really start shifting. We can swap out the menu we've got and we can bring in the menu that is actually going to allow our reels to not only stand out, not only be remembered, but actually make people move into your offers, into the opportunities, into the sales. Okay. So first of all, I want to hear you. Take a look. If you go to your Instagram right now and if you have a look, can I hear you? I'm not meaning like, can I read your words? Can I read your thoughts? can I hear you? If you want to be the leader, you can't be constantly hiding behind music and other people's voices. So we need to bring in reels straight away. This is a really easy thing that we can start doing. And I know it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but in order to hit that next level, in order to get the bigger results that you want, let's freaking do it. Let's get a bit uncomfortable. You're using the audio, the verbal function. Reels are powerful because we are able to tap into what we hear, that sense of hearing. And right now, sure, you might be using music. You might be using music well. But again, if you are hiding, if I can't actually hear your voice, how do I know it's actually your thoughts? How do I genuinely know that this is you? It could be someone else. It could be ChatGPT. So this actually allows you to fast track building trust with your target client. This allows you to fast track building that authority, that you know what you're talking about, that of course you're the one they need to learn from. You're the one they need to come to. You're the one that they need to check in with first because you are the freaking queen of the screen. You're magnetic. You are the one. So I want you to, if you aren't already, I want you to prioritize bringing in one reel a week. Okay. Just to start with, we're going to bring in one reel a week that allows you to speak, allows you to be heard, your unique opinion, your unique take, your unique analogy. Really come on in. And especially if you're a coach, this is so important. If you are a coach, if you are someone who coaches, who educates, we need to see that. Because people instantly get a taste of what they're going to experience, the energy, the dynamic when you are in that mode. So this is a really, really easy way for you to turn up the results that you're getting from your Instagram and from your reels, is literally getting on there and allowing people to see what that energy, what that mode is like. So I want you to get on there. I want you to be the freaking leader. You've got the microphone, which leads me to my next point. Own the stage. No matter how you feel about the idea of getting on stage with a microphone and speaking to an audience, the fact is that is such an incredible honor. That is such a powerful moment, a powerful thing that you can do. And especially if that does make you a little bit nervous, great, because this doesn't actually have all the eyes watching you on in the audience. This, you can do a few takes. So this is a really, it's okay, even if it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, but own the stage. Reels is like your own stage to share your message, to speak directly to that dream client. You have their attention. They're watching your reels. And right now you're rushing. You're getting in, you're getting out. And yes, I say that. Yes, I say don't go on for the sake of going on. Remove all the fluffiness. But in the same sense, you're at the moment kind of like getting in there and you're like, okay, bye. And you're like afraid to actually own the space. You're afraid to actually take up space. And we need to instantly switch that. Taking up space is a part of being the queen on the screen. Taking up space is who you are when you own being the queen of the screen. Because when people come online, everywhere they look, you are. And what's funny about that is actually one of my incredible clients, she said to me the other day on a call, she was like, yeah, we had our group. And what's funny about that is you might be thinking, I have to be everywhere. That's going to take a lot of posting, but it's not actually the case. One of my clients just the other day, we were talking on our group call and she was saying that she's taken a few weeks off from really posting reels, She needed a few weeks. And hey, consistency is important, but at the same time, I'm always about the longevity and you being able to become that person and keep building and the sustainability of you, of your business. So absolutely, this is one of the perks. This is one of the perks of reels. This is one of the perks of becoming that queen of the screen is you don't necessarily need to be posting as much as you think, because when you start building that momentum, you're everywhere, even if you aren't physically everywhere at the time, which is so freaking cool. So when my client said she'd taken a few weeks off, I was like, wait, what? My jaw literally dropped because I was thinking, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like you've been showing up. It feels like you've been everywhere. what? And how cool is that? That she was able to take a few weeks off, not from her business, but she really needed to just do a reset, okay? She needed to do that for herself, for her business, for her content, for how she was showing up. Great, no worries. But the fact that I still felt that she was showing up, she was everywhere, that right there, I was so proud because I was like, the fact that you've got that, the fact that I felt that you were everywhere still, queen of the screen, queen of the screen. And I was so freaking proud. And I know that she listens to every podcast. So if you're listening, that was the moment that I was like, far out. She has literally come so far from being someone who didn't want to be on screen, from someone who didn't want to talk on camera, from someone who felt like it was just like the most unnatural thing ever to get on, to sell, to talk about your offers, to show up, to talk about like to really all of it, to now being such a freaking queen of the screen. I know you're going to be listening and I want you to know how freaking proud of you I am. Okay, so let's come back. So rather than posting these short reels that are literally like 7 seconds, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, where someone gets a little bit of you and then bye, you're off. Take up space. Own the stage. You've got the stage. I'm not saying drag on for the sake of it. Condense your message, but don't be afraid to actually own it. To actually speak, expand, connect back to stories, use visual analogies. Because one of the most powerful things isn't necessarily views, it is actually watch time. Combining the right type of view with watch time is incredibly important. And you're not going to be able to build that watch time if your reels are 7, 10, 12, 15 seconds. And you're not going to be able to build that watch time if your reels are over in a flash, if they're in and you're out. So own it, own the screen. My next one is a really important one because it's very easy to get a little bit like lose sight of this. So I want you to come back and I want you to remind yourself, lead, always lead with, how do I want my target client to feel after watching this? What does my dream client need to hear today? What do they need to really hear to shift, to overcome what's blocking them? And how do I want this reel that they're going to watch? How do I want them to feel after watching this? Because if you lead with that, you're leading with them. It's not about us. It's about them. Them. It is about them. You're leading with value and you're allowing your reel to actually make them move. Because when you make people feel, you'll make bank every time you post a reel. And I want to be really clear, by banking every time, I don't necessarily just mean sales. You're banking a result. You're banking growth. You're banking opportunities, which is very, very different to when you're posting reels and maybe getting some views, maybe getting some reach, maybe getting some comments, some engagement, cool, making the algorithm happy, cool, people, their eyes are on my account. Hopefully the rest of my content can do the work. No. So really focusing in on, how do I want my target client, my dream client to feel after watching this? And then we can create the reel to achieve that. How do I achieve that? Okay, this is where the foundational elements come on in. And the best part is, it really is. What you're doing right now, it's not a case of let's throw this out, let's start again. What you're doing is not great. It is tweaks, it is refinements. So that way, rather than let's go find an inspo reel to post or to recreate, the way that you approach reels is going to be different. And that is exactly what I work through with you inside Reels That Bank. I don't just take you through the Reels That Bank formula. You literally get taken through the foundations so that you are able to start creating reels from a place of being a queen of the screen, being the leader, being the trend, being the one that others follow, that others look to. So the shifts it takes to go from seeing real views to real sales, real results, real clients, real opportunities is actually far less than you think. So it really is time to stop treating your reels like they're an entree, because that behavior is real sheep behavior. It is not you in the driver's seat. So instead, I want to challenge you right now, today, in this moment, I want to challenge you to take the driver's seat back and allow yourself to be driving straight forward to becoming the queen of the screen. And you're going to do that by applying these sort of shifts that we've spoken about in this episode today to your reels. And if you're on TikTok, this is the best thing. What we've spoken about, it isn't specifically, yes, I sort of target and, angle it with reels, but you can go and apply this to TikTok. You can go and apply this to YouTube Shorts. Video marketing, it is not an entree. It is not a starter. It is the whole freaking menu. It is the whole freaking meal. And it's time for you to start treating it that way so that you can actually start seeing those results. Whether you are feeling maybe hungry, maybe excited, maybe ready to go and make some epic reels. If you loved today's episode, I want you to jump on in and please leave a review. It means so much. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to start reading out some of our reviews. We're going to have some fun with those who are leaving reviews in our upcoming episodes. So I want to invite you to join the podcast and not just be a listener, but actually be a part of it. And leaving comments, leaving reviews, no matter what platform you're on, I see it. I see you. And that is going to allow you to be a part of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I will speak to you next week. But in the meantime, go and own the screen because you are the queen. And I want you to start becoming the queen of the screen.